All right, folks. Well, the remnant moisture from Ida is moving across the mid-Atlantic, and the hardest hit area so far is in Western Maryland, where we have our own Erik Kirchner, who joins us live with a raging stream behind us. So what's going on out there in the mountains of Maryland, Erik?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm live in Vale, Maryland. This is Braddock Run, which normally is just kind of a peaceful stream, a small river. But due to the heavy rainfall that we've got, it's a pretty raging river right here. Standing next to a Super 8 motel. And earlier, the water was flooding across the parking lot. They were having to put tables up along the entrance of the hotel to try to do anything to block water out. And the water went across all the way down as far as you can see on the National Highway. You can still see maybe in the distance there still is some water running across the National Highway, and it ran across the parking lots of several businesses further down. It has went down some since then, but it's still pretty impressive.
How much rain have you recorded in your rain gauge so far today?
Last we checked was 5 inches, but we probably got a little bit more than that.
Erik, if this was snow, you'd be up to your eyeballs in snow. But the storm system, I tell you what, that low went just to the south, and Cumberland was on the sweet spot for heavy rain. And I do want to show folks some footage, and this is some footage that you captured. And can you explain this particular footage out in the Vale Summit area?
Yeah, this is near Clarysville Road along Vale Summit Road, Clarysville, Maryland along Vale Summit Road. There was a kind of I think it was a Preston Run, which is just a small creek or stream that runs down, and it overflowed its banks and overflowed a kind of a lower water crossing. And I believe that was Harward Drive that had to be closed down due to the flash flooding.
Yeah, that's pretty significant amount of water, and the rain's coming down pretty hard. Another area that was flooded is a popular place in Cumberland where the steep terrain around it helps to drain the water down into this particular location. This is the Dingle. Can you explain a little bit about how much water you saw in this particular area of Cumberland?
Yes, this was the Dingle intersection where a good portion of it was closed. There were some nearby houses right along there that the water was pretty much flooded their yard. And definitely, I mean, if they had a basement, probably would have affected that. And there's a lot of, it sits right along Braddock Road, and it sits right at the base of Haystack Mountain, and just all that water from the nearby ridges and hills flow right down in there. And during some flash flooding events, we've got pretty high water ponds and pretty good amounts around the Dingle. But this was very serious where they had to close a good portion of the intersection.
Yeah, that does look like some pretty serious flooding as well. And we also have footage from Garrett County, Maryland, where there's some flooding reported, some of the smaller creeks and streams, as you can see from this particular footage, and this footage as well. So it's not only in Allegheny County, but all across Western Maryland and Garrett County in Maryland. I am in Montgomery County, and so far we've had a couple of rounds of showers, but nothing like far Western Maryland has seen. This is outside of Montgomery Village, where a shower was moving through and the winds were picking up just a little bit. But as we come back here to Erik and I, now we have the flash flooding going on right now, but we also have river flooding that we're concerned about late tonight and tomorrow with the Potomac and Wills Creek. Both are supposed to crest slightly above flood stage. Nothing like the 96 flood after we had that blizzard, and then we had 3 inches on top of that. But there is still some flooding waters to contend with. And would you say that it's a little bit less humid right now than it was yesterday at this time in Cumberland?
Definitely much cooler, although I'm a bit cold because I've been sitting out here in the rain getting reports and all that.
Yeah, this is going to drive in an autumn air mass for a couple of days and a chance to dry out. Fortunately, it looks like the traffic behind you is flowing smoothly, so that's good news. And I'm sure everything is going to be green for a while. This will help with the fall colors once we get into that season as well. So thank you so much, Erik. We really appreciate everything you do for us at the Hagerstown Town and Country Almanac, because Cumberland is that sweet spot for flooding rains when we get tropical systems and heavy snow. I'm sure you're looking forward to covering the snow once we get to that season, right?
Definitely.
Been a long summer in Western Maryland, and I'm sure everyone's looking forward to some drier weather. So thank you so much, Erik, for joining us today, and sending us this spectacular footage. If there's any more footage you have, feel free to send along as well, and we'll post on our YouTube channel. But the back end is in sight. I see the clouds are starting to break up a little bit, and looks like you should probably start to see, might even be a little peak of sun before sun sets this evening in Western Maryland. Now, we do want to mention, though, Erik, the ground is completely saturated. The streams and creeks are running high. Once we get this high pressure move in, there are going to be a couple of mornings where there's some really thick fog developing. And I guarantee you, if you go to Dan's Rock one of those mornings, you're going to see a real big blanket of fog in the valleys once we get into high pressure here, especially Thursday and Friday. So that might be something to capture some footage of some very dense fog in the morning time coming up, because the ground is just completely saturated. The grass will start to grow again, and it is the first day of September, which means it's the first day of meteorological fall. So just 3 more months until Western Maryland starts to see snow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Erik.
Thanks for letting me come on.
Absolutely.